Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's Shanna. Now, I've decided to work on unfinished projects. So I've got some things that have been laying around, and this is one of them. This is the Silly Old Bear Better Press, and this is one of them. And I had pressed this on another one of my videos. I think it was actually live, just to show the Better Press plates, and I hadn't colored it. So I actually bought some colored pencils the other day, and I thought I would use them to color this in. Now, I don't use colored pencils very much, and so I'm inexperienced at it, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and we're just going to do some coloring. Now, I will speed this up tremendously because it does take a while to, do all the coloring on this and to layer up the colors, because I'm going to do lots of colors on top of colors to really try and give it some vibrancy. And I'm not sure that that was the right thing to do, because after I got done coloring, I actually went online and I was kind of looking up Winnie the Pooh book pages, and the coloring that was on the pages was very faint and very just real subtle, not a lot of detail, and just kind of a real gentle hand. And I really went pretty intense on this panel. So I'm not sure that I did a very good job of representing the Pooh and the series, because it just seemed like it was just really, really light-handed. And I went very heavy-handed on this and just put down a lot of color. I used, multiple blues and multiple greens and some yellows and golds and some browns, and just kind of kept the tones the same. I started out making the water very blue looking, and then I thought, this is not the Caribbean. This is a pond in the 100 Wood Acres. And so then I'll come back in and add some green and some gold and some brown to it to just kind of give it more of a pond look than a Caribbean look. So it'll just take layers and layers of coloring to get it exactly where I want it. And then even after I turn off the camera, I'll sit down and color some more at a couple of different settings just to try and get it exactly where I think it looks somewhat coordinated. So these are just Art Smith markers that I picked up at Joann Fabrics. Very inexpensive. For the set, I got them for less than $8. So I am sure that you can pick up some expensive colored pencils and use those. But since I'm not experienced at this and I really don't know what I'm doing, I just didn't feel like I needed to spend any money on it. So here's where I'm laying down kind of a Caribbean type look to my pond. And then once I get it on there and I really start thinking about what I'm doing here, I'm thinking this is far too blue for a pond that would be in the 100-acre wood. Maybe if this might be a pond that people would have in their yards nowadays, where they would treat it with some coloring or whatever, but it just didn't seem suitable for the pond for this scene. So I'll come back in and bring in a lot of other colors and kind of change the look of it so that it doesn't look like the Caribbean. And I thought, there's a lot of just kind of grassy areas that are leading into the water, so I put a lot of green around in there, and just kind of filled in. And so here I'm just adding more color, and we're getting deeper and richer and more vibrant. And that's where I said I probably went a little overboard for a Pooh sketch. And now I'm bringing in a black pencil, and I'm going over, the artist lines and markings even more. And just adding some richer, darker tones to it. And I think it's pretty vibrant. Not sure it should be, but I'm just going to get a lot of color down on here and just keep going. Now I'm doing the sky, and I think if I'd have stopped here, I might have been happier with the sky. I just kept going and going and making it darker, and I think the sky overall was kind of the least of my favorite of the whole thing. I'm liking it right here, and then I just keep going. And anyway, let me know what you think about it when you see it. Feel free to comment about it. I put some purples in there to try and make it look like a very colorful sky. And I kind of went out over the edge because I knew I was going to use a die to cut this out and frame it out. And I'm trying to find a die that will fit within the areas that I've colored. And so I'll just kind of grab some different dies, and then eventually I'll settle on a smaller one. This one here, I believe, I'll settle on. And I'm kind of off camera, so I apologize for that. But actually, I forgot. I decided to go to a rectangular die so that I wouldn't have to color. Okay, so I went ahead and die cut it out with a stitched scallop rectangle die. And I'm going to just bring in a piece of fern cardstock that I have embossed with branches embossing, 3D embossing folder. And I thought that would be kind of fitting for this scene in the 100 Acre Woods. And so I'm just getting plenty of glue down because you've got all the raised, the embossed and debossed areas, and you need some glue to get it to cover. And it will seep out a little bit at the bottom, and I'll have to do some cleaning up, but just trying to get it lined up real nice and neat. And press down so that I get a good adherence. And you can see when I lifted that up, I had a little glue seep out down there at the bottom. So I'll get that cleaned up. I'm just wiping it off with my fingers to make sure I don't glue my card shut. And I'm just going to grab some paper towel that I had. Actually, I've tossed it in the trash can because I just cleaned off my glass mat. And I'm just going to lay this panel down on a black scalloped, stitch scalloped die cut piece as well, and just kind of frame it. And I'm going to keep it very simple because I think the coloring is pretty vibrant, and I don't really want to take away from that. So I'll just get this laid down on this piece, and then we'll layer it up, and that'll be pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to pop it up. I decided that I would use some fun foam that I had and just pop it up on my embossed panel. So I'm just reaching over to try and find a piece of black that is about the right size that I need. And I had a piece, and it was pretty narrow. It was just a little bit long, so we'll just trim it off, and we'll use this. I try to throw all my scraps back into the bin so that when I just need a smaller piece or whatever, I've got it. And I'm just going to pull the backer. This only has sticky on one side, so I'll lay it down to my paper, and then we'll add glue to the back of it. And we'll get this panel popped up. And then if you look at it from the side, you'll just see black underneath there. And the glue's flowing very well today. The temperatures have changed a little bit. It was, I don't know, in the mid-40s today, I think. So it's a lot warmer than what it has been. So with this laid down on there, it's going to take a while for it to adhere because we've got the embossed areas and we've got that foam. So it'll take a minute to really adhere. And I have got some of the better pressed sentiments from that set as well. And it says, I found somebody just like me. And I had already pressed them and die cut them out on that live that I was referring to. And I'm going to use it for my sentiment. I'm just looking for some of my thin foam strips, and I'm going to get it popped up on my card. I'm actually just going to put a little bit of foam on the bottom, on the just like me part, and then we'll glue the first part of the sentiment actually on our panel. And we just need this foam strip for that additional layer where we're going to cross layers. And I've got a little bit long, so I'll just trim it off, and then we'll get it laid down on here. I've got another panel that is already been stamped out that I need to color. It's I think it's called Garden Party. So that'll be another unfinished product that I'll be bringing to my channel soon. I'm not sure how I'll color it, but it needs to be done. Just trying to get these panels out of my craft room. So I think this looks cute. It says, I finally found somebody like me. And I'm just pressing it because it's not adhered, but that'll finish up the card. So let me know what you think about my coloring. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.